everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in. We're stepping outside the makeup box today. Hope that's okay. I really do like doing that from time to time, and I think, I don't know, we're all human beings here. We all have more than one side, and I think that's a good thing. And whenever I do run across a person here on YouTube who I like because of their makeup channel, I'm immediately wondering, like, wait, what's their backstory? What's going on in their life? Maybe that's the old news reporter in me, but I like knowing more, and I think it's very valuable that we all have more than one story to tell out here. So I'm just encouraging you guys out there, do your thing. Share what's happening. And I feel like my topic today is pretty relevant, and hopefully it helps some of you who find yourselves at home with kids, not being able to maybe go out and do some of the things you might typically do, not having kids in school like they may typically be, and just some ways to, you know, keep the day moving, keep things fun. Some of these are kind of educational, some of them are just fun. I do not claim to be the authority on this. I think it would be amazing if you guys, if you have some ideas, you could share them in the comments section, and this could just be a fabulous resource for everybody who comes to this video. The topic is basically just stay-at-home activities, you know. I would say above all, before I get into my list of 10 different things, above all I would say reading. That is something that we do all the time in this house. The girls first and foremost love to be read to. I can tell Rhett is already enjoying that as well. But even just quiet time, grabbing a few books and looking through them, you know, they really get a lot out of that, a lot of enjoyment out of it. And I think if you start that really early in a child's life, it will be something that they look to as a comfort, as something they really like, and that a day isn't complete without time spent doing that. So that would be a big overarching thing that I would say. And if you're interested in more of like the way we kind of go about our daily routine, I did do a video on that. Sort of just our schedule getting throughout the day with 3 kids. If you're new to my videos, I have a 5-year-old Belle, a 3-year-old Eve, and a 5-month-old baby Rhett. And juggling all their needs every single day can be challenging around here. On most weekdays, there's nobody else really helping out, so how do you kind of get through a day? That schedule video gives you sort of an idea, but we're focusing on preschool age activities here. That's the big thing. And I guess I just can't stop talking before I get into the list, but one thing to keep in mind too, I think some of the activities that end up being the most successful are ones that are a little bit more loose and open-ended and allow for some creativity and allow them to kind of make it their own a little bit more. I think you'll notice that theme with some of these. I'm not going to get on here and tell you like, here is how we constructed the paper ladybugs. That was fun and all, and we like inserting kind of an artsy craft into the day, but these are a little bit looser activities that I think the kids themselves can really take off with. So the first one is our little like hunt for it game. So you hide 10 things. It could be 10 flashcards. To make this really educational, hide flashcards or make your own flashcards on index cards if you don't have any. Like put letters on them, put numbers on them, hide them around your house, and then your kids have to go find them, and when they find them they have to say the name of the letter, or if they're able to, like the sound that the letter makes, and that can be really, really fun. And also if you've got a couple of kids, one can play the role of the hider, the other one can be the finder. In my house, Belle really likes to hide the letters and Eve really likes to find them, and they will do rounds and rounds of this stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is a good activity. Another twist you can put on it is they can pick 10 of their toys, you know. I just say 10 because it seems to be a manageable amount and we're not having too much stuff getting lost all over the house, but they pick 10 princesses, 10 ponies, whatever it might be, and hide them somewhere, and they just kind of go back and forth with that, and it's really fun. And if your kids are into like Easter egg hunts, they'll love that sort of activity. Another thing that we like to do, like this is not a real brilliant idea or anything, it's just something we really like. I would call it music and Play-Doh. I just turn on my little Bose speaker, my phone, get some music going, and we sit there and we play with Play-Doh. The 3 of us, me, Belle, and Eve, and usually I've got little Rhett on my lap while we do this, but the girls absolutely adore Play-Doh. They can easily spend a full hour doing that, if not more. And so we get out the tools, little rolling pins, little cookie cutters. I'm sure you can find a lot of tools in your own like stash of things you have at home. But somehow we turn on the music and it kind of like, I don't know, keeps the situation a little more calm. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because everybody's a little more listening than always feeling like they need to fill the air with a lot of noise. But it's just a nice relaxing activity. Here's another one, scarf dancing. Realized this one last week. This is a great activity. I mean, if you turn on music and you're like, we're gonna have a dance party. Okay, that's fun, and that lasts for about 5 minutes. Give each kid a scarf. oh my gosh, you've just opened up a whole nother world for them, it seems like. I realized this when one of them, you know, found a blanket on the floor and was trying to like throw around the blanket and dance with it. I'm like, hold up, I got some scarves. And we get the scarves out and we're just having the best time floating them around. And even little Bubba, he's laying on the floor, he loves one, like just kind of floating over top of him. Again, it's one of those activities that can occupy their attention and their interest for a surprising period of time. And then, you know, you play a slow song, you play a fast song. They change the way they dance and the things they can do. And it's fun. One of the best crafts I think we've done has actually been collages. We did a beautiful one with some flowers recently, and it was made completely up of things I cut out of magazines or ads or catalogs. And if you can find kind of a theme or, you know, whatever you want to do, whatever you can think up for your kids to do. Grab them a piece of construction paper and a glue stick and you've already cut out the things, or if they're at the level where they can really easily cut things out, that could be fun too. But this is what I mean about the kind of craft experience that's a little more open-ended and lets them put it together exactly how they want to. You know, there's no right or wrong answers kind of deal. And they absolutely loved doing that when I had cut out a bunch of things and they could put it together how they wanted. And also in the same respect, think about other things that you can recycle and they can turn into something and get their feedback on what they think it could turn into. We're talking about paper towel rolls or used like little toilet paper cardboard rolls, plastic food containers. You could even do a little hunt around your house, like what stuff is around here that we could use and turn into something else and repurpose. So they get a kick out of doing things like that. But just even collages, like I said, is really fun. Another thing we like to do around here, and again, this is not a rocket science idea, but nature walks, you know, just getting outside. I know not everybody lives in an environment where they can easily do that, but it's getting to be the time of year where just getting outside, like it doesn't always take a lot to really like flip a kid's switch and get them excited. Sometimes I think we as parents build it up in our minds like we've got to come up with an extravagant, really great idea. We got to go here and there's got to be this big event and, you know, what if there's not a vacation and all that? And then we stop and realize through some of these things, like give a kid a scarf and turn on some music and they're having the best day ever, you know? Go outside, take some sidewalk chalk, take some bubbles, put together kind of a scavenger hunt list of things maybe they could try to find. Lay down and literally just watch the clouds float by. I mean, the simplest things can really make a child's day. And right now, like, you know, the way that schedule was laid out in my day-long schedule video, if it's a really nice day, we're inserting outdoor time in there as much as we can, you know, if it's after lunch or after a nap or whenever it may be. I really think that's something to take advantage of. And I think the fresh air, if you can be outside and be, you know, socially distanced from other people, it can be one of the best things. Another thing that's really nice are active videos. There are videos on YouTube, I guess I can link to a few that we like, or channels that are good, that give kids kind of like a dance or an active thing to follow. It's nice when you're kind of getting going for your day. I think it gets everybody excited, gets the blood flowing. It's also nice if you as a parent just need a break. Like I also have this baby I'm tending to, and if I need some time to just feed him or play with him, give him some one-on-one time, I know that I could turn on like a playlist of active type songs for the girls and they can try to follow those. Some of them are kind of like dances that you can follow. Others are just like goofy, silly things. And on a stormy day when you can't really get outside and enjoy all that, giving them something fun like that to do inside can burn off some energy and also give you as a parent a little break as well. But you still feel like they're not just completely like zoning out behind an iPad all the time. I'm not saying having a little iPad time is a bad thing. I just think if you pay attention to the moods of your kids, if my kids spend too much time watching a cartoon or something like that, I think for whatever reason, they act more crabby. They act more like, I don't know, moody or something. But if they're up and they're moving and they're active, the mood overall is just better. Here is one thing in this video that is a purchase. It's not expensive, but I got it on Amazon recently, and I think it is just like the greatest thing for a kid who is around the pre-K age or maybe going into pre-K soon, and you want a fun way for them to get accustomed to sorting and counting and even a little bit of fine motor skill stuff thrown in. It's this Rainbow Bears kit that I got on Amazon. There's like 60 little bears in there. They're not so small that they're like a choking hazard, although you might watch really little kids around these. these, but I think you've got like 6 different colored cups and you can roll the dice. One is a colored one, one's a number, of course, and then it will tell the child how many bears to pick up and put in the cup. And they can use these little tongs that I think help them a little bit more with their fine motor skills. So it's really fun. It's great if you've got a little bit older kid and a younger kid. The older kid can kind of roll the dice and maybe help with things, or a child could do this totally on their own. But Biddy in particular, she absolutely loves this. I feel like she could do this for a long time. It really occupies her attention. It's giving her great counting and numbers practice. I just think that's a great little thing. Okay, a few more things left here. The next one is chores. This sounds really lame for entertaining your kid at home, but we're talking preschool age kids here. I mean, maybe a junior high or high school kid's gonna be like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't want to hear about chores. Keep in mind the age here, 3 and 5. They want to do things that are more like mommy and daddy. They like to feel like they can help. It makes them feel important. It feels like an adventure to them. It does not feel like a chore, literally. But think of ways that they can actually help out around your house and carve out a little time or two during the day when this is going to happen. And keep in mind, parents, my type A's out there, don't expect perfection here. To make a kid feel encouraged in contributing and wanting to do this, they've got to feel excited and interested. You don't need to hit them over the head with, oh, this is exactly how I would do this actually, or you did this wrong, or whatever. That's a great way to, I think, squash all enthusiasm for this. So realize it might not be exactly how mommy and daddy do it, but that's okay. We want to get them doing some of these things and taking on some of these little tasks around the house. So I'm talking stuff like setting the table, wiping down the tables, maybe wiping down doorknobs and light switches and stuff like that as we're trying to really be clean around the house, loading and carrying or sorting laundry in a helper type role for kids this young, you know, but that's something they can enjoy. Organizing something. If some groceries have just come in and it's like, okay, where did these things go? Can you help me sort them? Another thing to think of is helping decorate. If you've got some stuff you're putting out around your house for the changing season or whatever, let them take a little freedom with helping you out there. Not a real rocket science unique idea maybe, but you might be underestimating just how much enjoyment your children might get out of helping you out around the house actually. And my last 2 things involve eating. One is snack patterns. So if it's snack time and you're trying to create a little activity out of that, give them several different snacks in little bowls or a little tray or something, and then they can create different patterns out of those. So 3 or 4 different snacks, it gives them a chance to look at that and think, how would this create a pattern? I know patterns are something that Belle's class focuses on from time to time in pre-K. It's something that Biddy can really get a grasp on too. So get out some cereals, popcorn, marshmallows, fruit snacks, pieces of fruit, have them go in with clean hands, of course, and then they can create some different patterns and ultimately eat the pattern. Also, where food and meals are concerned, I mean, there are times where I wish I could put in a lot more like time and energy and thought into the things that they're eating, but there just isn't a lot of time when you have a baby as well in this mix. Like you're just simply trying to get the food on the table as fast as possible, it feels like. But one way that can make it, I think, a little more fun and really not too much work on the parent are doing some different DIY build your own meals. We've done this with quesadillas. If you've got a couple different kinds of cheeses, some different things you can put inside, they can put it together and then you just throw it in the pan and brown it up, heat it up, and then when they have it, they feel like, oh my gosh, I made this. They're always going to take to stuff better that they had a hand in making, I feel like. You can also do a make your own pasta salad. You put out the pasta, put out different things that they could add to it. Maybe it's black olives or different kinds of veggies or cheese, whatever you can come up with. Throw a little Italian dressing on that or a little mayo-based dressing, and then boom, they've each made their own bowl of pasta salad. Tortilla pizzas are a fun thing too. If you don't quite have enough time to prep like an actual pizza crust, which is not always a lot of work, we sometimes have time for that. But if you've just got some tortillas or some wraps and you can put some pizza sauce on there and some cheese and have them put whatever they want on, that's another fun way to do it. Or a DIY fruit salad. You cut up the fruit, they pick out and kind of toss together what they would like to eat of that. It all kind of feeds back to this idea of the activities that are a little more open-ended, that allow them to have a little more of their own creativity, are usually the most successful and the ones that they want to stick with longer and that they want to come back to and do again in the future. So hopefully this gives you some ideas. There may be time that you want to spend, you know, doing a workbook page. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And we also do the reading lessons in the 100 Reading Lessons book, and that is also time really well spent. You may have some content or some things given to you from your kids' teachers that you want to work into the day. But if you're looking for some other random activities, that's what I'm trying trying to share today, and I thank you in advance for any great ideas you're putting in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to follow along with more of the things we're doing in the house day to day, I try to track a lot of that on my Instagram stories, so you can check that out, and I've also saved a lot of it in my highlights as well. It's now gone into 2 different highlights for Learn at Home for some of the learning activities we do. So thank you again, everybody. I hope you're getting along well, and I will see you soon. Bye.